But yeah. Yeah, I mean, there is technically that. It is the final story that you unlock. Kind of like the follow-up sequel that not a lot of players are going to be getting. And you don't necessarily have to 100% the game to unlock it. I forget what the conditions are. Maybe it's just like doing all the other stories.
Did you know that?
And that time you team up with Nobunaga rather than going up against him in the final story. And go defeat everybody else like fully powered up for the final challenge. And it does very much feel like it is meant to be like a final challenge kind of thing.
Is there any skill of mine that I could impress upon you?
Even a fool has something to teach, whether they are aware of the lesson or not.
Hey, but I could show you how to wield my plow sword.
You want to lay with me? Have another mead friend. I really don't know enough about you.
Brother. It's brewed with clover and raspberry, they say.
Did you hear what I... Yes, it's good.
Keep that up.
Wait, did you hear? Did my brother just call me? I think he... You know I should go. Brother!
No! You see, I am incredibly homophobic. No, I really don't know anything about that dude. Tell you what, like, we run into a dude in a story that actually has, like, a meaningful impact in it and seems like a really cool guy and stuff. Like, I'll totally go with, like, the romance line. But, like, he was just kind of a character here that just served as, like, opposition to the ideals of, like, our main character of this story. That our main character, what was his name again? Oswin? Oh my god, I'm already forgetting it. This is how quick it all vanishes from my memory. Oswald, I believe there. He was just one of the two figures that Oswald had to, like, prove himself to. That's all his role was in the story, that dude. Like, that's it. It's like nothing. Magnus's note to self. To tomorrow's Magnus. The coverings of the graves remain broken. If you have not fixed them by the time you have read this note, you have best pray that nothing has been stolen or will leave your head, and there will be no tomorrow's Magnus tomorrow. With much concern, the Magnus of today. So, like, I really don't know anything about the dude. He was just the guy that was giving Oswald a hard time, and Oswald had to, like, prove himself to. That's all his character really was, as far as I could tell. But yeah, but don't you want to lay with everyone in the game? Not exactly. Though tempting. I will admit. I love one-off flings.
Come join me!
Hi. How's it going?
Saxon God wanders somewhere up here, does he not? I haven't seen him.
They like to say he moves with mystery.
Look, the moon. It moves untroubled now. But one day it will be eaten by a giant wolf and the nights will be black forevermore.
Are you all right?
I've tasted glory once again. And it was good.
I'm glad to hear it. Now...
I always felt like Skoll or Hati. Chasing and trying to fulfill Halfdan's wishes. But now I've caught my sun and moon. I've got them and I don't know.
You can let them go. Sail to a further shore.
My longship's in Valhalla. Don't you remember? Firestarter.
Well, at least he didn't fall off.
Come on. Let's get you to solid ground.
Everything's spinny.
Carrie? Get Finir down from the roof. Oh, I know how to do that. Check this shit out.
You're very strong.
What? Oh, it doesn't let me. Oh, it doesn't let me, like, do the dash and then just toss him. Unless I can do this. No, I can't toss him. Oh. My disappointment is immeasurable. And my day is ruined. What? Do I don't know how to get off this. But yeah, I'm not sure that's really all that realistic for a game man to be so avert this time, though. Yeah, probably not. I wouldn't know for sure. Like, when I think of, like, Assassin's Creed Odyssey in ancient Greece, I would think, like, oh, yeah. Yep, that definitely checks out. This time period, oh! I wouldn't really know. What? Maybe that dude's just like really forward, really confident. I respect it.
Sorry for this, Eivor.
The sheep.
I've had one last glory.
Nice default camera
Should
angle
be
there.
Happy. I am happy. Thank you.
It need not be the last.
Not the last.
I really want to just throw him off the roof. I'm sure countless other players probably did. It's like the 10% of players that made it this far in the game.
See how Oswald is doing.
Actually, Vikings were indifferent to homosexuality. If you lack confidence, though, that's where they killed you. Okay. And that dude was definitely confident in his forward advances, and I respect it. Interesting.
Eivor, I'm about to address our guests, and I'd like you to be there.
It's been a worthy ceremony so far.
And have you had enough fun yet?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, Romans for sure would. Yeah, you definitely think of that. And it's like, yep, that checks out. Here,
I'm
sure,
ready
let's
to
wrap
hear
up
you
this
address
quest
your
line.
kingdom.
And maybe I'll rant a
Good.
little bit about
Come,
open world
come,
games and then
join
wrap
me.
up the stream. Because I just want to do one quest line per
Friends,
stream.
Honored guests, we've pushed through hard times. It seems like all we've known is loss and suffering. But it is not conflict that binds us. It is compassion. May we always favor compassion, even when our enemies refuse its boon. So, to my Dane friends and neighbors, I give thanks for the bravery you have
Still
shown
got a
during
wobbly
our
knife.
collective struggles. And for my fellow Christians, may we continue standing as examples of our Lord's grace. Lights in the dark. I see East Anglia's future right here, right now, in all of you, Dane and Saxon alike. To our future.
Still a bit soft on insults, but the king has courage.
And to Eivor, without whom none of this would have been possible.
On behalf of East Anglia, let this ring be proof of our loyalty to the Raven clan and all they have done for us today.
Would you have any words of wisdom for us?
Chew gum and kick ass, and I'm all out of gum. I don't know what that means. East Anglia is safe now.
I'm not one to bask in the glow of another's triumph, but I'll say this. East Anglia is safe. Under his protection, under his guidance, under his wing. The good King Oswald.
That's basically
will
the
keep
top
you
option,
safe
too.
For many moons to come.
To Oswald!
Skull! Skull!
Wow, it really did not matter which of the three I said. Holy shit.
Starts now.
Didn't realize I was playing
All
Persona.
have to lose to the bride and groom. Steady all, and ready yourself for the wedding race.
The wedding race?
Bride against all.
Someone's injured back there. Uh-oh, the quest line goes on. Oh, the guy that I spared!
The sheep you left to guard me have been shorn. Oswald, king of sheep fuckers, show your eyes.
Now I kill him.
I challenge you.
I accept.
Automod held a message for following reason: race, ethnicity, or religion. Hey, Oswald is a goat fucker, not a sheep fucker. He is a class. Wait, Twitch takes issue with goat fucker, but not sheep fucker. It thinks sheep fucker is okay. That's a-okay. But goat fucker? That's where we draw the line. According to Twitch Automod. I'll allow the message. But yeah, the message that, the part that it highlighted, that it said was the problem was the goat fucker. It is perfectly fine with sheep fucker. Wow. Like, we're not barbarians here. We have class. Here, we fuck sheep. Okay, hold on. Let's see here. I also missed in Viking Society, you can be gay, but if you're the bottom, that's a bad look. That kind of reminds me of, there was a class that I took in, I almost said in high school, in university, where I was studying history on the side while I was waiting for, you know, stuff in my certificate in game design to be available, where I basically did enough classes to do a minor in history. And the most specific course that I probably took, like the one that was like the most specialized, was probably a course that I took on the understanding of the body in the Middle Ages. Like, what a niche specific topic there. And I was like, this kind of sounds interesting. I kind of want to take this class. And it was just like a small handful of people. There was only like a dozen of us, like just discussing stuff, bouncing ideas off of one another from like different readings and stuff that we were doing. Our professor, I forget whether he was like one of the country's leads or whether he was like one of the world's experts, leads, experts, whatever, on the topic of Jesus's foreskin. So the class asked him a lot of questions about that, since he was like one of the leading experts on that topic. So that was certainly interesting there. And when we were discussing like the understanding of the body in the Middle Ages, one of the things that we discussed that reminds me of with that little note about the Vikings is like a lot of people didn't really care about homosexuality all that much. It was more so who is being penetrated and who is penetrating is what a lot of people cared about. And do I want to do this ramble right now, right before this? Whatever, I'll do like a short version here. A lot of people treat the idea of people seeing like gender as a spectrum as like a new idea, like, oh, this is totally like a 21st century or maybe like at the very earliest like late 20th century kind of thing. Like, this is a completely new idea, like nobody ever thought of that kind of thing before. It's like, nope, it has definitely been thought of that way for a long time, just in like different ways. Like, we talked about how in the Middle Ages, like, it was very much seen as, yeah, it's very much not a new idea. In that kind of time period, it was very much seen as a spectrum, where it was seen as a spectrum in like a very different way. Like, do I really want to go on this ramble right now? Where the men were seen as like dry and you know, not all that like having that much strong of a desire for sex or anything like that. But women, they're slippery and wet and horny, and we must not be like tainted by their like slippery, wet, and horny ways and stuff like that. Is what a lot of people would have thought back then. We did like a lot of studies of like monastery life and what monastic monks would have thought is a lot of the perspectives that we delved into in that class. And it was very interesting, very, very different. All right, now tell us what you learned about the Holy Foreskin. I can. Okay, we're doing a little bit of this ramble now. At one point towards the end of the semester, the class had asked him, like, what can you generally tell us about, like, what is known about, like, the Holy Foreskin? And it was called, like, the Holy Foreskin. And the professor had told us, like, you know, realistically, you wouldn't be able to preserve something like that. Like, there's no way that there was, you know, a real one out there preserved up until, you know, close to modern day. But there were a lot of churches that would claim that they had the Holy Foreskin and would have it like in a display case, and some would even have like ceremonies where people could come and visit like the Holy Foreskin on like certain days and like kiss the display case and stuff like that. And eventually like the head honchos of the Catholic Church, like I don't know if that'd be like the Pope or like other head honchos there, had come forward and said, like, you know what, there is no Holy Foreskin, like none of them are real. Like, as in the last couple hundred years here especially, I feel like to stay trendy with the modern times, to not weird people out from their religion, it probably would make sense not to be having places that are worshipping the Holy Foreskin and, you know, potentially turning people off from their faith. So eventually the church was just like, we gotta get rid of this thing. Like, we can't be worshipping this thing anymore. It's gonna make our religion too uncool. It's very much what it feels like there. So eventually they said, none of them are real. There is no like true Holy Foreskin. But if anyone is real, it's that one at like this church here, and I forget which one that was that he had described. It was someplace. I think it was someplace in Rome or something like that. Someplace in Italy. So none of them are real, but if any one of them is real, it's that one right there. Again, to reiterate, none of them are real, but if one is, it's that one. is apparently what, like, the church had said. And our professor had told us that for a long time, the not real, but real holy foreskin was kept at this one church, where the priest of the church lived at the church, so, like, he had, like, his own dorms and stuff. And the holy foreskin was kept under his bed, supposedly. And, at some point, I think it was in the 70s, I think it was in the 1970s, that the holy foreskin mysteriously vanished, and nobody knows what happened to it. And it's unknown if, you know, it was stolen by some thieves, if maybe the priest himself, you know, got rid of it or sold it away, or if maybe the church itself was like, oh my god, we gotta get rid of this thing. We gotta, like, execute a raid and just, like, get rid of it and hope that people forget about it. Like, we cannot be associated with this thing anymore. So, it's unknown what exactly happened to the holy foreskin. It has been, the not real but real holy foreskin has been missing for about 50 years now. But, you know, it could be, who knows what happened to it. I feel like if I had to wager a guess, I'd say that, like, the church probably just wanted to get rid of it. What I feel like. But it's not really known what happened to the holy foreskin. So that's what we learned about from that, you know. In India, there was a third gender. In other cultures, males who transitioned to females were seen as very important, being seen as holy. Interesting. I hadn't heard of that before. Yeah, all hail some random guy's foreskin. Turning people off? Now the foreskin would turn people on. That's what you'd think there. Question, would you go to hell for stealing Jesus's foreskin? Or at least the one that, according to the church, is the most likely to be real, but definitely isn't real one. Yeah, would you go to hell for that if you did steal the holy foreskin? It is a good question. Would it be worth trying to find out? I'm one of those people that's gonna Google it. No, not about whether Oswald can do this or let me fight on your behalf. Not if I'd go to hell for stealing the holy foreskin. Just to make that clear. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Let Oswald fight or not. I just want to know. Okay, it looks like it is a good ending if you let Oswald do it. Okay, thanks for clarifying. I thought you were gonna apply a foreskin heist. That sounds so cursed. Someone clips this and takes it out of context. They're gonna think that that's so weird. And how the heck would I be able to do that anyway? It's already stolen. Nobody knows where it is. It's either on, like, some black market or, like, you know, in some vault at, like, you know, the head honcho church, whatever it's called. Or maybe, like, destroyed by the church, like, for good. Already planning one, a foreskin heist. Oswald, you can do it.
No square.
I love how we just lingered on this screen, this choice for so long, talking about, like, gender as a spectrum across the centuries, and, of course, the holy foreskin.
I will bury you.
The Mormons have it, of course. I'm sure they do.
Should a king show mercy to one so malevolent, so cruel? I'll not give you the satisfaction of a good death, for my god forbids such cruelty. Therefore you are outcast. From this moment on.
You have won. My life is yours.
Your life is God's.
Now, in the name of the holy foreskin, I'm taking
Now
yours.
go. Leave my kingdom and never return.
Did he actually do something to him? Like, cut out his tongue or something? Or just, like, he just screamed at nothing. I assume he just screamed at nothing.
One side mercy, the other courage. There are few like him, I'll admit. Saxon or Dane.
Such a strange display. Courage and restraint like I've never seen. With all that's happened, with all the chaos Ruud wrought, still, Oswald found reason to spare him.
It's a strange thing.
A remarkable thing. From what inner spring does such kindness run? I'd like to know. With my duty here fulfilled, I now choose East Anglia. I fight for you, my king.
Rise, old friend. You're embarrassing me.
Be well, Finir. Your choice is a bold one. You continue to surprise Oswald of Ilmenham.
Thank you, Eivor. When we first met, I made an oath. I promised you an alliance.
I have one new
You
friend.
did. You'll have it, so long as I draw breath.
Until next time, King.
Follow me on my Snapchat. Follow for follow. I'm gonna follow for follow, like everybody here. The Good Saxon, complete the East Anglia arc. I just got a Steam achievement there. Yeah. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Foreskin.
Let's tell her the good news.
But yeah, time for him to kill more people. That's right. There's a new alliance I can forge there. Here, let me go, like, say that I forged an alliance there. And then probably wrap up the stream. Because it's 2 in the morning. Yeah, maybe each Valhalla stream is gonna be generally one quest line, one new friendship start to finish. Is what it will probably be. But yeah, got to all sorts of topics this stream, didn't we? It was certainly something. Raven not available. Don't go till 6 AM like your Walking Dead stream? Nah. I gotta get some reasonable sleep tonight so I can be up at a decent hour so I can finish off that stupid never-ending crap of Persona 3 Reload tomorrow. Today. Whatever, same thing. What I hope to do. Get that one knocked off. Like, at least finish the main story. I don't know if, like, I'm completely at the ready for, like, the super boss, or if I need to, like, farm some better equipment or something like that. Like, maybe I can just take on Joker Persona 5.
Holger,
We'll
why
see.
all this shouting?
We'll see here.
Eivor.
Didn't need to sleep early for the WEM event. You'll be fine.
Something wrong?
Yeah, I was not feeling great during that one.
And I demand he be punished.
Rot disappointed word. Does the deer rub the stream when she takes a drink?
What did he take? The holy foreskin from under my bed!
Eivor, this matter requires sensitive judgment. Will
Why are you, like, going out of focus?
Of course.
Oh, I am taking a more prominent role here now, aren't I?
Well now, there is no excuse too small, I see. Nothing to keep you from coveting that seat, is there?
In Sigurd's absence, who has better claim to oversee these disputes?
You might leave them to work it out for themselves, but that would mean letting go.
I mean, there was that prophecy that I betray Sigurd, so I totally am gonna end up in this chair by the end of the story. For real.
Please start again. Tell me all that has happened.
I will start. I have been falsely accused by this Saxon Philistine.
A Philly what? Are you mocking me?
Silence, please. I will hear both of your complaints and render a decision, awarding compensation if needed. Understood?
Okay, Judge Judy. I'll probably have to do both. Holger, your defense?
Let me hear your side.
Eivor, you have known me as a skald for years. You have seen how my poems bring life and joy and wisdom to our people.
You're not gonna win me with an appeal to character.
My work requires a certain, let us say, freedom to make use of rare resources to compose my verses. Often when lacking the proper tools, I have made use of novel items. Alvis's walking stick, Tovi's inks, all were given gladly.
You cut off my horse's tail to make a brush, you bleeding.
Rowan?
As I was saying, this morning in the throes of poetic reverie, I realized that my latest piece required delicate brushwork. I could have used a frayed stick, some cloth, my hands, but no. I needed something gentler, softer. To make a perfect brush, I needed the fine hairs of a well-raised horse. And so I availed myself of a local resource.
You clipped Alfgafer's tail to the rump without asking.
It was early. I did not wish to wake you.
Thank you, Holger. I believe I understand your position.
Yeah, I have to do them both here. Yeah, I think I'm going with Rowan.
Rowan, tell me
That's
your
not
version
cool
of
to have
these
done that
events.
without permission.
As you are
Like,
aware,
just ask. Like,
Holger
respect the other
and our
person.
neighbors, near
enough that I often catch him at my stables, stealing my tools.
Borrowing.
Holger, let him speak.
Stealing, borrowing. My point being, I have always allowed him to use whatever he pleased.
Well, that's
I
pretty
greatly
nice.
admire your Norse generosity and had hoped to match it. But this morning, Holger stretched the limits of my grace. Entering my stables for their feed, I found my most beautiful, gentle mare stripped of her tail. Bereft, not a strand in sight. I am ashamed
Much like
to
the back
say
of your
my
hairline.
natural suspicion drew me to Hallgeir, and how right I was. For when I peered across the lane, there he was, gripping a horsetail brush slathered with indigo, dragging it across a sheet of
Painting, Rowan. I was painting. You make it sound so crude.
You see? Such willful arrogance. It will take ages for Ilgifu's tail to reach its former length. I demand compensation.
I understand. Thank you, Rowan.
Yeah, oh, I can rehear them in case I forgot like some details there. But yeah, how bad has the DLC been so far? It's fine, I guess. It's just basic. It's boring. It's just like more Tartarus. It's just like the gameplay of like Tartarus, the dungeon stuff, doing battles of Persona 3 without any of the other day-to-day. And that was the stuff that I preferred more when I found the day-to-day so boring. But doing just that endlessly of like, clear all these floors, do a boss, clear all these floors, do a boss, clear all these floors, do a boss. Ooh, get one cutscene that shows a little bit of character backstory. Clear all these floors, do a boss, clear, and just rinse and repeat. It's just boring. And according to everyone I've heard about it, apparently the ending of it sucks, so we'll see what that's like. But yeah, Rowan is Ned Flanders, Holger is Homer Simpson. I've heard
I
enough.
believe I have heard enough. If you will...
My horse looks
Okay.
like a fool, Eivor. No handsomer than a donkey now. You must do something.
Do not conflate hair with beauty, Rowan. She remains radiant. Elgifer's hair will grow back in no time.
Quiet, both of you. Now listen.
My judgment. Hear statements again. Holger is right. He should be able to take whatever crap he wants from you with no consequences. Rowan is right.
Holger, Rowan is clearly in the right. You shared the tail from his horse without gaining permission.
I borrowed the tail. Borrowed. Does the reality
Is it
of
borrowing when you
regrowth
can't
not
put it
make
back?
this a victimless crime?
It is a two-victim crime, Holger. Though they are unharmed, you took without asking, and that will not do. As the horse's value has diminished significantly, you will pay Rowan its market price.
But the horse was not for sale. Rowan, admit it.
My decision is final, Holger. Pay what you owe, and meet tomorrow as friends.
And if I do, may I keep the horse?
Pay the man and be done with it. Rowan, does this satisfy you?
It does. Thank you, Eivor.
Good. Then by Tyr's blessing, let this matter rest. We're done here. Return to your homes in peace.
Would you
Yeah,
allow
that was
me
the right
to
decision
pay
there.
you with a vibrant painting? After all, in so
I got a bunch of experience for that.
Absolutely not. Silver is the only color I wish to see from you.
Well, yeah, borrowing without permission is stealing. Backstory that has little to do with what is going on. Yeah, it's just like, hey, here's some additional context for, like, you know, the characters that you cared more about in the main game. He is sitting in front of that chair. Like, by the DLC, it doesn't really matter all that much. I feel like you got more onto the chair as I got closer. Is what it kind of looked like. Am I losing my mind? Looks like he's on, like, the very, very tip of it. Alright, let me just report that I did the thing. Is what I'll do, and I'll wrap things up here, I think.
Oh, hello, Eivor. Good day. That Holger, he's...
Okay, but Rowan, you're being a bit
Almost
rude
envy
here.
him.
Can't you
To
see
the
Holger
world through
wanted to
such a
paint
muddy
something?
glass And live with such petty concerns.
That's
He hasn't
right.
a care in the world.
Let's not walk too far with that idea. I need you right where you are.
East Anglia
Whoa,
is with
why'd the
us.
lighting change?
Their King Oswald has pledged his loyalty to us.
Eivor Kingmaker, we shall call you soon.
Another raven. Oh, a
Some
whole bunch of
interesting
progress
news.
there.
King
Oh yeah, maybe I can do a
Tyrell
little bit
sent
of
Gilbert to
store
Shropshire.
renovations and
He
get up
hopes
to
to
4 out of
install him as
6 while I'm
alderman
here.
there.
Good for Gilbert. He should do well considering all he has learned from you.
I gave him only a taste of my knowledge. The rest he will need to figure for himself. One more thing. I do not know if you heard, but Sven passed away a short time ago.
Who's that?
Poor man slipped away in his bed.
I had not heard, no. And how is Tovi? She must be gutted.
It has been rough on her. She spends quite a lot of time at his burial mound. Speak with her, if you have the time.
Maybe. Yeah, I'll go get, like, a new task, one of those 3 next time, is what I'll do here. Don't you know you are near the end, though? So I did, like, all the different levels of the dungeon. I saw everyone's backstories, and by seeing everyone's backstories, I got the key to escape from the, Abyss of Time, I think it's called? The Abyss of Time is the dungeon that you're trapped in. But, there's, like, 2 ways that you can exit. Everybody has 1 piece of the key. And, like, the main exit will just, like, resume time and everyone is freed. But if you instead use the key on, like, the door that goes to the room of the main character from the main game, you can go to the past to, like, change events that happened. So, because the main character died, some of the characters think, like, we should go do that and try to save him. And other characters think, like, no, we shouldn't, like, disrespect his sacrifice like that. Him sacrificing himself so that we could have this future, and we should go embrace that future. So, like, the characters are divided, and everyone needs to be in, like, agreeance to, like, go through one of the doors. So they're all just like, alright, we're gonna friggin' Fortnite Battle Royale this shit. And then we're gonna, like, do the option of, like, whoever wins. So, I'm at the point in the game where it seems like the dungeon exploration is through. I gotta do a Fortnite Battle Royale to get, like, all the keys, choose my ending, and then, like, do final boss. So, that is very much what it feels like. Also, I Google it to confirm that I wouldn't have to do, like, multiple streams, and yes, that is indeed the case. I might still have to do multiple streams in case I need to, like, do more of a grind and come back to defeat Joker Persona 5. Or whatever the post-game stuff there is. Apparently, I have to clear, like, 4, like, special challenge doors before I can face Joker. So, I mean, I'll see how long that takes me. But, yeah, apparently there is now just, like, the Battle Royale and then the friggin' final boss, whatever it ends up being. But, yeah. But, yeah, you can maybe see why the ending is stupid then. That is the ending. What, doing, like, the Battle Royale and stuff. Apparently, there's, like, the Battle Royale, and then there's an actual final boss, and I don't know what the actual final boss is. Like, I presume that you use the key to go through one of the doors, and then you face, like, the final boss, and then, like, I don't know. But, yeah. I mean, obviously, honor sacrifice, what kind of question is that? But a lot of people are like, but Mr. Dudo, we liked him so much, we want him to come back to life, let's try to change the past to do that. This is our one opportunity to do that. Where are the... Oh, yeah, it was the Raven thing that I had to do. Where it's like... The blue ones are the ones that I could still make. I don't know how much stuff I have. I still don't know what the feast buff is. Oh, so I guess it shows red if I don't have it, so that means I do have it. Offers multiple gear and ability loadouts. Well, I don't have whatever that is. Truly suddenly ready to murder each other out of nowhere with nothing leading up to it. No conflict before that. Just suddenly, okay, time to murder my friends. Well, it's not like killing one another, but just like defeating, like you're fighting Pokemon or something like that. Whoever has the most strength is going to be the one to take the keys and decide whether they're going to go out through like the regular door and move on with life, or go through like the dorm door and try to like change the past and save the main character's life. Beast buff. Looking for legendary animal trophies. I don't have any of those. But yeah, okay, a lot of people like John F. Kennedy, but his death shot at the civil rights movement... Wait. But his death shot the civil rights movement ahead 15 years. We should go change it. Oh, I guess I don't have enough supplies for that. I don't need other haircuts, I don't think. I'm cool with my current thing, and I definitely don't need tattoos. Improves the feast buff. I still don't know what that is. Improves the feast buff. I don't have enough supplies here. Cartographer offers maps that will pinpoint valuable items and resources that you may have missed. I have Google. It's fine. But yeah. Oh, wait. Trump already has for what? Changed the past? Or like gone back to the past? Because I mean, yeah. I have to go back 50 years due to him in yeah. I was mentioning, let's go make a bakery. I feel like doing that. I was mentioning this earlier this stream. I'll mention it again. Yesterday for dinner, I'd gone to my Oma's place to shovel the walks and take out the trash and stuff like that. And I went to go pick up Vietnamese food on the way home. And it was surprisingly packed. Oh, that's just decorations. It was surprisingly packed. It was a full house, so I had to, like, wait there a while. There was only, like, the one open table where I could sit down, like, a two-person table. And another person came in to get, like, some food on the go as well. Where's the feast buff? Oh, does that mean I get, like, more health here? It says plus 25 health. So this guy, like, sat across from me. And somehow we got to politics there. Like, we were commenting on how it was, like, pretty darn full in there. Bam, an upgrade. And I think he made a joke about, like, oh, so I can make those things now. New opportunities. I think he made a joke about how, like, everyone was trying to get in and get a bunch of tasty food before the tariffs.
That is kind of you. I hope
And then
one day I can repay you.
the two of us just sat there, like, talking about, like, what an idiot Trump is for, like, a solid 20 minutes.
I remember
And
the
how
good things
worried
people
both of us
do
are about, like, the next 4 years.
warm my heart in times when kindnesses are few and far
And if I hadn't asked his name and introduced
There was
myself,
one
like,
more
he
thing,
wouldn't have, like,
if you
said
had a
his
moment.
name.
A grain merchant has set up
Definitely
the
wouldn't have
river.
been the case.
I want to bring
And it would have,
half-dozen
and it was,
bags.
like, towards the end of the
But I would
conversation
need
after we
an
had been
extra pair
chatting
of
for, like,
hands.
a while there. No,
cannot
I don't
help now.
really want to do a
Maybe
side
later.
quest right now.
No rush.
Earl was his name.
Just let me know.
The two of us just sat there in this completely packed to the brim Vietnamese restaurant, just talking about, like, how worried we are about, like, the next 4 years and how the world is kind of going to shit. So the new ones there. Cattle farm, so that's more feast buff things. Feast buff. Proves the feast buff. Okay, is it just a bunch of feast buff things? Improves the feast buff. The legendary animals one. Improves all the new things that I can build now are more things that improve the feast buff. Like, whoa, I'm so excited! I unlocked the ability to make these new facilities that I've been working up towards, offering me all these amazing rewards, like improving the feast buff. Like, can I check what the exact buff that they give me is then? The game never really introduced the feast buff. Oh, that's a cartographer there. But yeah, literally reversed so many civil rights acts from the JFK days? Has he? I haven't heard that yet. For the White House live broadcast of him signing bills. Huh. Something I'm gonna have to, like, look into a little bit deeper at some point. But I have definitely heard a lot. Plus 3.8 assassination damage. Is that a lot? Like, how much health do guys have? I actually don't know. Okay, so there's, like, different buffs to, like, my character here that these are. I could have, I guess, looked around and seen which one I wanted the most there. Or range damage. Is that, like, a buff that I have always, or only when I have the feast buff on? What is the feast buff? I'm Googling this right now. I have no idea what the hell a feast buff is. Assassin's Creed Valhalla feast buff. What the heck is that? Does anyone even use the feast buff? Is the very first result that comes up. Reddit. And it's a poll. 93 said I do. 154 said I don't. So most likely it's seeming here that most of the facilities that you can make in, like, your village that you're establishing throughout the game improve the buffs of a buff that most people don't even use. Like, what the heck? How long does the buff last? Never timed it out, actually, but it seemed to last at least a day or night or so. They don't quote me on that. Well, what is the feast buff? Here's another page. How does the feast buff work? The bakery says that it improves the feast buff, but how does it work exactly? Is the buff infinite, or do you have to keep reapplying it every time it runs out? Do I have a buff on right now? Like, would it show in the... It shows XP and whatever that symbol is there above my health. I read somewhere that the buff affects your crew too, but do they automatically reapply it to themselves when they are at camp, or how does that work? How do you even have a feast? That's what I was wondering, since I didn't really want to waste supplies to build a place I'm not going to use much. Just figured it out. One's at settlement level 4. There is a bell by the longhouse, and you ring it to start a feast? Well, what is the default level of the feast buff? So, like, I did something that improves the feast buff. but I don't know what, like, the default buff of the feast buff is. And for, like, most of the facilities here, ultimately, to be things that just, like, improve a buff that you get here by feasting, I don't get it. So there's a bell here? Hold on. There's a bell to start a feast? The game has never introduced this, I don't think. Out here? Oh, start feast? Oh, it costs... Oh, well, the feast buff by default starts with nothing. It seems like. So that first additional thing that I put on is, like, the first, like, only thing onto it. So if I do a feast for 50 silver, then I'll get plus 25 health. Is that a lot? Like, how much health do I have? Where do I check that? Where do I see, like, my stats? Tutorials? Nope. Oh, L, stats. My health is 135.6, apparently. So, it would go up by 25. So, could be nice, but not... Honestly, not really worth it to do this in Nightmare mode for the plus 25 health. I'm just gonna keep on being two-shot anyway, as is, so, like, what's the point? I have a couple skill points I can assign here. So I can go, like... I'll bear-aligned gear. I don't think I'm really wearing bear-aligned gear. Here's some more heavy damage. So, hey, a little bit more DPS for me. Because I assume that means, like, heavy attacks and stuff, right? Next time, I'll get parry damage the next time I level up. This is what I'll do. And next time, I'll go make a friend with, like, some other area. I kind of wish that you could see, like, which areas were friends with you, like, right on this screen here. Like, have, like, a slight different color to, like, the areas that you made friends with. Just so that it feels, like, a little bit more visually satisfying seeing you complete it. Like, I know I can check it in, like, the Longhouse at any time with, like, the ravens on the map. But I feel like it would be satisfying seeing it here. It would kind of remind me, most likely, of Hyrule Warriors, the first game. That had, like, the classic mode, legend mode, whatever the heck it was called. Adventure mode, where it had, like, the map. And as you completed levels, you would see, like, which ones are grayed out that you haven't done yet, which ones are lit up that show you've done them, and which ones have, like, the little gold medal symbols on them that show that you've gotten, like, the gold rank and gotten the stuff on them. And, like, of course you were playing the game doing, like, the same, like, tedious crap over and over and over and over again. But, like, seeing, like, the progress on the map and just, like, all those gold medals and all the bits that you've lit up, it is visually satisfying, I will admit. Not really all that much to be visually satisfied about with this map. So, I would definitely feel a lot more motivated to play, like, this if I had, like, that visual satisfaction, for sure. Like, I remember I 100%ed the original Hyrule Warriors, like, on the Wii U. Then they released it on the 3DS, and I played a little bit of that. And it only showed, like, a small subsection of the map, so you couldn't look at, like, the overall picture and just, like, take in your progress. It wasn't really that satisfying anymore. So I didn't really do all that much with the 3DS version. And then the Switch version came out, and then I bought that too. Like, I wouldn't have bought the 3DS version if I knew that just the best version was coming to the Switch anyway. And, like, its progression is a whole lot better, just because it's like, hey, here's the DLC of, like, all the previous games. But now we've scaled the level set, like, you go, you know, in order a lot more reasonably and get to max level by the time that you've reached the final DLC and, you know, stuff isn't, like, horrendously over-leveled. Wii U Hyrule Warriors, my god, it expected you to be, like, max level by, like, the end of the first map. Because that was the only map that existed at the time. So, you know, Hyrule Warriors Definitive on the Switch, you could get through the adventure map a lot faster, but, you know, I never felt quite the same motivation. One, content creator at this point, and two, just the fact that there were so many maps, like, it didn't feel, like, as compelling, as opposed to Hyrule Warriors 1 on the Wii U, where it was just one map. And even if that one map is a lot easier in the Switch version due to the level scaling, and way harder in the Wii U version where you had to farm so many levels to do those final challenges on that map, I still felt motivated to do it just because it was like, here's the one map, it's complete. Eventually getting it all lit up, all the gold medals, all the items done, and I could just, like, look at it and take it in. That's what I'm suddenly wishing from, like, this map, considering, again, there isn't really an overarching story. It's just go around doing side quests. And that's kind of what something like Hyrule Warriors Adventure Mode would be. Like, sure, there is like a story mode that you can do in that game too that isn't super long. Like, the main bulk of the content of the game is like the adventure mode. And that's another example of like a game that has like a short crafted experience, but like a metric shit ton of side content for those that care about it. And so I didn't really have like a story narrative, anything to be like pulling me to 100% that map. But I still felt compelled to because like the game itself was genuinely fun. And there was like that visual satisfaction that let me just like take in my progress, absorb it, have like pride in it. Whereas this, you can't tell anything by looking at this really. You can just tell like the areas that I've like physically explored around. And so I don't really care. Anyway, another game comparison that I can draw this to that I would have liked elements of in this game. Alright, I'm done. It's 2:24 in the morning, as you see there. I'm at 21 hours in this game. Get the Unibear with what rewards? Get the Unibear mount reward. Get it for 60 units. What does that even mean? Oh, like the gold credit thingamabob, I presume. It didn't even open the right menu. Yeah. Yeah, that's modern Assassin's Creed here. Ambush enemies from the shadows. I don't care. Alright, it is late. Tomorrow, technically today, I think I'm going to try and finish off Persona 3 Reload. Is what I'm going to try and do. At least like the main story of the DLC. I'll see if I can beat Joker Persona 5 during the same session or if I need to come back sometime later. We'll see. We shall see here. Look, it's going. It's doing the thing. It's at, what is it at right now, out of curiosity? 77%. I could totally go until it's complete. But I don't feel like it. I'd rather just have it like finished during the night. But yeah, so that's been going all throughout this stream. It's at layer 163 out of 260. Its estimated time of arrival is 4 in the morning, so about another hour and a half my software thinks it's going to take here. So yeah, I'm not staying up for another hour and a half for that. I'm going to sleep. Is what I'm gonna do. Appreciate everybody that tuned into another stream of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay accompanied with like discussions of amazing topics like Jesus's foreskin this time. And until next time, when I'm sure we'll have even more truly fascinating and thought-provoking topics to discuss that truly everyone would be wondering about until it eventually gets discussed and we discover the true secrets to enlightenment. So, until that amazing magical next time, I'm going to sleep. See you later. Bye.